Hello everyone and welcome to another Premier Injuries Daily Update. Now, game week 25 is almost done. We're waiting for the Manchester United and Brighton double game week to see this slate out. And ahead of that game, Brighton report no fresh injury concerns. Graham Potter should have more or less everybody's disposal. Sarmiento, he remains sidelined after having surgery on his hamstring. And also Enoch Umwepu, a groin problem has kept him on the sidelines for the last few weeks. For Ralph Rangnick, Fred is back into contention. He's been cleared following COVID, but Nemanja Matic, he remains out with a shin problem. And also Cavani, he complained of a groin issue midweek there that kept him out of the game against Southampton. Elsewhere, Manchester City, they play in the Champions League on Tuesday night. Now, Cole Palmer out. And also Gabriel Jesus, that niggling small muscular problem that Pep referenced after the international break qualifiers, that's hanging on a little bit longer than initially thought. And also a big update on Jack Grealish. Now, if you haven't seen our video that we released on Saturday, do please check it out. That gives us a little bit more information. Pep, ahead of the game on Saturday evening, said that he was hopeful of Jack Grealish actually playing in that European tie. However, he has been ruled out. Pep said he's much better, but the difficulty, as we explained in that previous video, is that this is a stress-related response in his shin. And therefore, we cannot give any kind of definitive update. So regardless of what you might read or hear at this point, its chances are decisions on his availability will be taken game week to game week, with decisions on his load and training and recovery. They will be taken on a daily basis. And these will be more activity-based recovery as opposed to a specific timeline. So not good news there on Jack Grealish. What we do know is, it's not as bad as the injury that kept him on the sidelines, I think, for just under 3 months when he was at Villa. And of course, City can afford to be a little bit more cautious in his recovery, given the strength and depth of their squad. Now, my home team, Newcastle United, another great 3 points on the board. However, the game wasn't without its problems. Just before half-time, we lost Javier Manquillo to an ankle ligament injury. Now, that could potentially keep him out for several weeks. We're waiting for an update on that. And also, as a worrying sign, we watched Kieran Trippier leave the club on crutches with his foot in a protective boot heading for a x-ray. Now, the club have actually confirmed now that it's a fracture to that fifth metatarsal. Now, typically with these types of injury, early fixation and surgery is required. That aids the healing process and will help to ensure a quicker return to play. Now, the bad news for Newcastle and also Kieran Trippier, typically looking at the data, we're looking at a minimum usually of around about 2 months, probably closer to 3, but again, it depends on where that fracture site is. It has different impacts. So whether Kieran Trippier actually returns this season or not remains to be seen. Very early days. Haven't heard a lot from the club with regards to that surgical intervention. So fingers crossed, we can still have some good news and we can still see Kieran Trippier before the end of the campaign. For Burnley, Wout Weghorst, he limped off, tried to play on with what looked to be an apparent hip problem on that left side, really struggling. Fortunately, it looked to be impact. So yes, while very painful and inhibit his movement a little bit, there is hope that he could possibly return this weekend. He will be assessed, and Sean Dyche will no doubt update us on Thursday or Friday with a touch and go statement. For Leicester City, 2-2 draw, very disappointing to concede late to that controversial Craig Dawson equaliser. But the talking point was James Justin and him limping off with a hamstring problem. Now, Brendan Rodgers said he actually felt a little bit tightness in that hamstring muscle, and he wasn't really sure if it has an actual tear or a pull. Now, that could have, again, a massive impact on his potential return to play timeline. If it's just a little bit of tightness and it was more of a precautionary measure, then maybe we're looking at 7 to 10 days. If it was a tear or a pull, even if it's grade 1, we could be looking at maybe somewhere between 10 and possibly 21 days. Remains to be seen. No mention post-match from David Moyes with regards to Jared Bowen, but he did look very uncomfortable at the final whistle, looked to be limping heavily after taking it off. Hopefully, again, that's nothing too serious and nothing too sinister. But we will be releasing a video on Kieran Trippier, hopefully later on Monday or certainly early on Tuesday. So keep your eyes and ears peeled, follow our socials, and as soon as drops, you can check that out. Okay, thanks for now.